probably for all of y'all, I guess, to make sure that the people that I have here, the boarders that I have here, the horses that I have here are like-minded for that reason. I don't want to butt heads. I don't want the drama that you referenced earlier that is prevalent in the equine community. I don't want it here. I won't have it here. But that's why I take the time to meet with people, to walk around. This is who we are. This is what we do. Maybe you don't like, natural open run-ins. Maybe you don't like your horse being in a rope halter or being corrected when they, walk all over me. This is not the right barn for you, because I'd rather address that in the beginning so that they know at least what they're walking into, than just say, yep, I have an opening, come on in. And then they get here and they're going, why are you correcting Billy Bob? What, because he's an ass and he's walking all over me. And that's not safe. Well, now we have the drama. Now I'm the jerk. And, they're on Facebook running their mouth, and now we've got all this drama, and the whole world is out to, it's unnecessary.
Set expectations.
Right.
Which is exactly what horses like. Horses like to know.
Absolutely. Everything with me is black and white.
And the boundaries are.
Yeah.
Humans need that too.
Yeah.
Humans are just afraid to establish
need that, but they will establish.
Right.
Yeah, and I can be a nag. I can be wishy-washy. But I can be. But
really?
But
who
no.
do you think you are? Have you met you? I'm going to record you more. No, you're not.
To my horse, though. But I mean, when I first started off with the Clinton Anderson stuff, and I mean, I was a nag to my horse.
Oh,
I couldn't, the black and white. Like, it was really, I just kept seeing gray, and I was like, oh, did I catch it? Did I miss it? What does it look like? Well, okay, you may miss it this time, but next time you get it, just keep working at it. It's not going to all of a sudden just.
But did you?
What?
Work at it?
Yes.
Right. So you were wishy-washy. You are not wishy-washy now because you continued to educate yourself. You continued striving to learn and corrected whatever you were, but you are not, I don't think, now wishy-washy.
Good. Okay. Well, and this isn't all about me. This is my counseling session.
Welcome to the Colleen Show.
I'm sorry. I just, but I know there's folks out there that, can be indecisive, and I struggled with it for a long time when I was working with my horse. And some of it, too, was not understanding his love language. Well, maybe not understanding it. I did understand it. I just didn't want to accept it.
Right.
Well,
that's hard for a lot of us.
That hard communication, and that is so much of the challenges and the struggles you see between horses and horse owners is it's not one's right and one's wrong, or one's bad and one's good.
Yeah.
Right. One, you guys aren't listening and speaking the same language. You're not listening to your horse, and you're not listening. The horse is trying, but there's a whole breakdown of understanding.
Yeah.
And so it's not a right or wrong. It's you guys just have to pause and figure out what each other is asking.
Yeah.
And the nice thing about the horse is they will understand your language if you're consistent and you speak the language that they need you to speak to them.
Yes.
Instantly. The problem is us.
Yes.
Yes. Always.
We don't. We hem and haw, and then maybe we'll eventually, speak the right language a little bit, and then we get in our head, kind of like you were saying you used to be. So there's just so much to it, but the horse is ready to change. They will if you ask.
Yeah. Well, and then there's that subtleness, like Chief's subtle. Like, he's like, okay, well, let's see what I can do for just this moment. Maybe I can just step forward.
Oh, yeah.
The incher, and he
Samson
can, and he's gotten me before. Yeah. And it's like, will I get away with it now? Okay, well, maybe I'll just try. And I'm like, quit inching.
Yeah.
So you'll scratch her nose on the bottom of her leg. And I'm like, okay, you're scratching your nose. And then, I just happened to take this bite of grass. And I'm like,
oh, yeah. Sneak a snack.
They're nice.
They're good.
They are so good. So
they're really good. Yeah, we've got to be better.
Yeah. What keeps you guys motivated to do what you do, with your horses, your business?
I think for me, I know this is my life's work. I know I have been connected with horses and with horses my entire life, and probably lives before. And so for me, it's that diversity of every day is different. It's the wellness and the challenge of all the horses, and making sure that they're safe, that they're doing well, that the owners are doing well, both from a horse standpoint and an emotional standpoint. I can say my clients are so tight now that all of my clients are friends. if I don't like the human, I'm not going to do the horse. 9 times out of 10, I like the horse, but you know, it's this whole connective circle of this is who I am, and I know this is what I'm supposed to be doing, whether it's the farrier work or the equine assisted wellness work. This is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. And so to continue to learn and to grow and to get up every day, this isn't work. This is just
life.
My life.
Totally.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah, and mostly the same, except I haven't taken the leap yet to fully transition to, I guess, full time.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that, and
Yeah.
picking everyone's brain when the time comes.
Absolutely.
But I just love learning, and I love learning everyone. In my perspective as a trainer, looking at different trainers, being friends with them, but just learning from people I don't even know, I take joy in, because I learned from such in my opinion, an amazing trainer who has such a kind heart, willing to listen, etc., that he always encouraged us to learn. He never looked down upon, or continues to not look down upon, where you get your knowledge from.
Yeah.
As long as you're safe about it, ultimately.
Right.
But he encouraged everybody to go out and learn from different people. If you go to a clinic and you like 5 out of the 8 things they taught you, for example, take those 5 and use them. But then you don't have to use the other things.
Yep.
You don't have to like everything that each person does.
Mm-hmm.
You can take and pick and choose and modify if that's what you want to do. And I love that. And I rode actually with Michael Lyons a few weeks ago, and I learned like 10 new things that I didn't even ask to learn about.
He's a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, it's just him having another professional watch me and say, hey, try this. And I just, an example, we were loping a circle, and I shifted my seat. He asked me to shift my seat because my horse wasn't kind of in line with himself, if you will. I shifted my seat, and it was instant. Like, I had it. It was there all along, but I didn't know where to apply myself. And I'm still learning. I'm young. So I want to learn. I'm not going to be stuck in my ways, and I can't be if I want to offer many different people my knowledge, if you will. So I love learning, simply. But I've scheduled, I'm going to some clinics this year. I'm going to ride with Michael and Julia again, and I'm so excited about it because I'm going to learn something new that I can hopefully apply to others and help them with. So that's where I get my joy out of learning and making myself better. I'm not just going to sit around and hope I'm going to help somebody. I want to make sure I will, and if I can't, then I'm going to refer them to somebody else that I trust. And I think that's important too, to not not have an ego and say, well, I'm going to fix this.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And you're really not going to fix it.
Right.
And
you just want the win personally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. No,
or
I'm
you don't want to make the referral.
Yes.
Because that's the biggest thing, whether you're a trainer, a farrier, or a vet, is all of us have to work collaboratively.
Yes.
Competition can be such a big word, but to me, there's no competition in anything unless you put that there, because what I do is different than what other farriers do.
Yep.
And yet I can call all the farriers in this area and say, hey, this is what I have going on.
Yep.
I'm thinking about this. What's your thoughts?
Yeah.
Because if we all stay connected and we all stay in open communication, then there is no competition and we can all learn from each other.
Absolutely.
And when there's emergencies, you can work with any vet if you don't shoot yourself in the foot. You can work with any trainer. You can walk into any barn and have respect overall.
Well, I met with a woman the other day, so we do our barn tours before we fill an opening here, and we did the tour, and it wasn't a great fit. And I said, have you talked to Stacia at Southern Tier? Have you talked to Susan over at Gable Acres? And she kind of looked at me like, and I said, what? And she goes, I've just never met anybody that's like referred me to another barn. I said, well, they're great women. They're great barns to be at. And it sounds from what you're telling me about your horse, about you, like you would be a great fit for their barn. So what we do here, and I'm not saying you can't board here, but I want it to be a great fit for you. I want this to be your barn home. I want you to be comfortable. I want you to want to come to the barn. There's so many people that come here for a barn tour, and one of the first 5 minutes, it's, I hate going to the barn. I dread going to my barn. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
That's awful. Like, this is my happy place.
Yeah.
But to have the confidence to refer someone to someone else, to say, you know who would be great for you to talk to about this? And not look at another barn like, oh, that's my competition. I'm not, nobody in this business is my competition. They're my colleagues.
Horses and humans to help.
Yeah.
And you have to know who's around and what's around.
Right.
To make those referrals.
Of course. I feel it's so important.
And it's building a community.
Yeah.
And it's strengthening your community and broadening your community, which is so good, because we all need each other.
Yeah.
And we know all out there it's tough. And life can be hard and things can come up. But when you are surrounded by positive, helpful, caring people, you know you're not alone. And you're like, you know what? We'll make it. We're going to figure this out.
Absolutely.
So, but that's a great thing.
Too, on not allowing it.
Yeah.
I think that's the outside world outside of the farm.
That's it.
It's like, in all of us as individuals, is you surround yourself with the herd you want.
Yep.
You allow in what you want.
Yeah.
And you put up the boundary to not allow in what you don't want.
Yeah.
And that's the way that we all need to be living lives, and we might all be a little better, but that's a whole different
all we
that's
can
another
do is try.
conversation.